Welcome to the Mold Money Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Stee. Today's episode is going to be real quick. This is on energy recovery ventilators, ERVs, basically mechanical ventilation systems. Today's just going to be on Crawlspaces because some people, some homeowners, a contractor recommends, hey, you want to stop mold from growing in your crawlspace, keep it ventilated, and oh, by the way, put in ERV. So this sounds really practical, unless you really know what an ERV does and really break it down. An ERV essentially exchanges air with the outside, meaning it takes in air, fresh air, and it exhausts air. And the incoming air runs through a filter, so there's no allergen, if it's for your house, there's no allergens and stuff. And it can be set to either run a certain number of minutes per hour. I say run them all the time. I do consultations. You can go to my website, danielstih.com, danielstih.com. Clients getting conflicting opinions on whether is this going to work or not. It's a Chicago area in Chicago. Contractor suggesting fans to move the air out because he believes the ERV is not enough. Okay, why isn't ERV working? Maybe you should have just blown the air out or gotten an HRV, heat exchanger, a heat ventilator instead of an E ventilator, because energy recovery ventilator, what does it mean, energy? These are scientists that came up with these terms. They don't seem to be really common sense for the consumers. I think of energy, I think of heat. Energy actually means humidity, entropy. So what's the problem with this? Because an energy recovery ventilator transfers the moisture. So what happens is there's an equal exchange as air comes in from outside, inside to outside. So it kind of keeps your energy bills in check. With a ERV, that humidity is getting transferred. The issue with that is the humidity you're trying to get out of your crawl space as you're exhausting that air, it's getting put back in the air that's coming in from outside. It's an equal transfer. There's no intelligence to it. Now you would think, okay, I want to set this thing balanced so it maintains a certain level of humidity. No, it doesn't do that. It's equal. Now, this works great if it's humid outside and it's dry in your crawl space, because as it brings in air, it's going to transfer that humidity backwards. It's going to go, oh, wait a minute, we need to transfer that humidity back outside. But if you're using it for your crawl space, dry your crawl space out. If you're starting with humidity in your crawl space and it's dry outside, you're working backwards. It's a little tricky. You got to think about, okay, where is the humidity? Am I trying to keep humidity out, or am I trying to dry it out? In this case, it's not really the best solution to dry in the crawl space. Once the crawl space is dry, you can run the ERV all the time. So if it's damp in the crawl space already, that's not the way to solve the moisture problem. To dry a crawl space out, identify where the moisture is coming from. Is water collecting next to the house when it rains? Is there a plumbing leak? Maybe you need a vapor barrier on the ground, a good one. The best way to keep your crawl space dry and conditioned is to heat it, ventilate it from the occupied space as if it was a living space. And if you say that's yucky, what you're telling me is you didn't install the vapor barrier properly. You just threw some plastic down on the dirt and it's still stinky down there, and that is still a problem. And an ERV or an H is not your solution to that. Your better solution, still kind of a band-aid, is to install power vents that just exhaust air from the crawl space to the outside and let the makeup air come from upstairs, meaning don't leave one vent open to the outside in your crawl space. You only exhaust air from the crawl space. It's going to create a suction and then pull air from upstairs down into it. All this stuff, again, is a band-aid. If you have a good crawl space, you should be able to live down there and be able to heat it and condition it from upstairs. Usually when I get the call, there's a problem because there's a source of dampness that hasn't been identified, and you got to address that first. ERV, HRV is not a simple band-aid, at least not without actually understanding the whole picture, what you're trying to do, where it's damp, where it's dry. Where I live, is it damp or dry outside, humid or whatnot outside? So this, as you can see, is a complex thing. So you're going to be cautious of a contractor installing something without really understanding this, work on identifying, getting rid of the sources of moisture. Then you can use the ERV to keep things simple. Got questions? Don't misinterpret anything I say in this show for your house. It's kind of complex. Let's go over it. Reach out to me at danielstih.com. Thanks for listening. Till next time, I'm Daniel.